Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome back. Please make sure you guys follow and subscribe. We have a great guest today with us. Her name is Jackie Bernardino. We're going to be discussing auto brokerage versus dealership, as far as what's the better way to go and what's the best way to go. And Jackie, please introduce yourself to our audience and we'll just go from there.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. My name is Jackie Bernardino. I've been in the industry for 20 years. Been a broker for about 5 years now, and I'm loving it. I love helping customers and making this transition as smooth as possible for all my customers.
Welcome, Jackie. Uh, to start off with, what made you get into the auto brokerage industry? Because you don't see a lot of girls in the auto brokerage industry, right? So, what made you get into that industry?
Well, I actually started when I was 18 years old, and I started off at Cadillac in Beverly Hills. I went in actually for a cashier position, and they offered me a job as a salesperson. And ever since then, I love the auto industry. It's not easy. You do have to have a lot of thick skin when it comes to dealing with sales managers and being the advocate for customers. So I've been with customers at the dealership for 8 hours. So then over the years, I took a lot of experience in the industry, but I really enjoy helping people. At the end of the day, that was what has always been as satisfying for me.
Would you say was it the sales aspect of it that made you fall in love with that industry? Uh, Besides the fact of helping people out, or was it the cars, the love towards the cars that made you fall in love with that industry?
I think it was both. I think the sales part, you wear a lot of different hats all in one day. So you had multiple personalities. So you didn't have, it wasn't like a repetitive, uh, s- career,
Yeah.
because it was a career for me. But I would say that definitely that it was never the same type of person that would sit in front of you. And you learned a lot about people, and everybody's walk of life is different.
Okay.
What do you think as far as like the differences between you being at the dealership versus what do you do now? What is the what is the difference?
Whew, it's night and day. In the most positive way, because at the dealership, you would sit with customers. You would go in, you would introduce yourself. Because I did the retail side, and I also did the internet side, and I also did the director side. So, and I also ran my own department in the Latin community. So I got to see everything. But I would say the difference right now, what I see the most impact is you get to give customers more option versus one. Like when you're at the dealership, this is what you get and this is it.
Yeah.
And being a broker, you expand your options for your customers and you give them that variety and that space that they can actually make a decision from the comfort of their home.
Do they actually save money?
Yes, a lot.
A lot of money? What is that? Why is it that they do save money? Because you technically you're still dealing with the same people, right? The dealership and so on and so forth. How is it that you're able to save them money versus if they're going to the dealership, you know, and they're not saving money, right?
Yeah, well, so we have dealer partners that we work with.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're going to have the most credible dealerships that we're able to give the customers the best price. It's not from like the MSRP. We negotiate interest rate. There's a lot of varieties that you're actually talking about. We're talking interest, term, purchases, leases. You're you're also talking about like customers that we're negotiating. It can take a day or two. My turnaround time is about 48 hours because that gives a customer also the availability to actually search for insurance.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of little things that we're saving them overall. It's not just a car deal
Mm-hmm.
because this is their livelihood. So you want to make sure you get them in the right car credit, all of that takes a lot of money. So you're talking interest rate, you can save in $5,000,
Mm.
price of the car, and then their options of the car. So it's just the comfort from your home. You can spend time with your family versus being at the dealership. How many hours did you spend at the dealership buying one car?
Oh my God, there's so many. You know, the craziest thing is just recently, I had a Hyundai, which I had leased. And I said, you know what? I don't want to buy an electric on this one. I just, I had one. I said, let me keep one of each, right? So if doomsday type of thing,
I'll just hop in the other
Yeah,
car.
my wife said, hey, well, if there's no electricity, then we have gas at least, right? But then you still have electricity to pump gas, but at least you can do the old ways with gasoline, right? But, I called them up. I said, listen, you know what? My lease is over. I'm ready to buy it. Just have my paperwork ready. I'm going to come in. I don't want to stay there for hours. They're like, no, what are you talking about? Just come in. We'll get you right in and out. That's it. I said, okay, cool. They have all my information. They have all the paperwork. Like it's there. We're just doing application of purchase. That's it. Everything is approved. And then I go in, and I was like, okay, I'm here. Let's go sign. And they're like, oh, can you give us some time? I'm like, man, I told you I'm coming at 10 o'clock. I'm here at 10 o'clock, And I left there like literally an hour and a half later. And I didn't even buy a car. I just literally signed a documentation
Did
to
he
buy
have to
the
talk
car.
to his manager?
No, I would have lost my mind, right? If they did. It's like, let me see if I can do this for
Let
you.
me see what I can do.
I don't want to buy anything. I just like, hey,
Yeah.
I know the car already,
Yeah.
I was, and I was scared they might have had me test drive my own car.
I'm doing a lease. I do lease buyouts too.
Yeah.
So I do everything e-contract.
Oh, yeah.
I save that, and I also give them different options of how we can buy your lease out.
Yeah.
What you want to add? Did you add any extended warranty? or
No,
anything?
I didn't do
You just
anything.
did
Yeah,
a roll-over, that's it.
simple. Just
give
me
me
the
my
keys.
car.
Yeah.
I have the keys. Just
Yeah,
give
like
me
I
the
already-
paperwork. So, yeah.
See, I save customers time with that, and
Yeah.
I'll send a salesperson to their house
Yeah.
to go get them signed, and that's it. You would have never stepped foot if you would have called me.
Yeah. I know. I didn't know that you did it, so that's why.
Oh, now you guys know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the people are scared of going to the dealerships now because of all the salesman tactics that they had back in the day. I'm sure they still have it
Still,
nowadays.
yeah.
They still gotta talk to their managers. Then the manager has to talk to the other manager. Then it's a closing thing. They have to close on you for a higher price.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have been so scared about going to the dealership now. I think your business is booming now because of that.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. I have a lot of repeat customers, but I work more off of word of mouth, no leads, just straight referral base. When I worked at the dealerships, I was selling 30 cars a month just on referral base.
Wow,
And
that's
that was it.
Yeah, it takes a lot, with the dealership side. It's just dealing with other salesmen too, right? So, and it just, I used to do the dealership side a long time ago.
Yeah.
And this is when, when you talk about those guys, right? About 24 years ago. And, you get the craziest people. On the broker side, I haven't seen crazy, right? But on the dealership side, I don't know what it is, but a lot of crazy attracts in our business, because it's like you have to be a little bit crazy to survive that business.
Oh.
It's a tough business, right? How would you rate that towards like something else in other business sales?
Oh, wow. I remember being at the dealerships that I would go in at 9 and I'll leave at 1 in the morning. And there's no industry like it. I try to get out of the auto industry. I went into the banking world. And it was like a fiend. Like I wanted to go back because it was so addicting. Like you enjoy the crazy side. And as an auto broker now, I'm more like calm, because
It's more classy, right?
It's more classy for sure. But when I was, like you said, you two, I've met some very wild salespeople.
Yeah.
And they're amazing, but like
They're crazy.
so there's times that I have to go into the dealerships for the client. So the client never steps foot in. I'll sit at the dealership and I do see that, like where I'm like, hey, can you give me some numbers for this customer? This is where we're at with the trade. So I take in trade-ins, and the salesperson will have me waiting there. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this customer say, and you have to deal. I deal with that, so the customer doesn't have to deal with that. And then I'm like, hey, here goes the numbers. Does the numbers make sense to you? Let me know, and then boom, that's where I close it, and then get everything together for the customer, and then make it easy peasy for them.
You said craziness. What are some crazy stories you would share with us?
Oh, cash for clunkers. Do you guys remember that?
I don't
Well,
know.
they still do have it, right?
No,
They don't have it anymore?
No,
I thought they still...
That was when they were trying to get rid of the
Oh, that's right. They used to have like $3,000 or $4,000, or that they used to...
$6,000
Oh,
from
yeah.
the state. We would have to make sure the engine was correct, so we would actually have to get underneath the floor to make sure the engine was right, and then open up the hood, make sure it was a V8, an older car. Like I've seen it all.
So you would have to check the VIN number on the chassis, basically,
basically.
and on the engine as well.
No, we would have to make sure that the engine was still complete at the bottom, because they were bringing clunkers. Like when we were talking about clunkers.
No way.
I
Yeah,
saw
junk, like
junk,
literally.
like junk. So I've seen, where we would have to.
Was
put
that
it away.
used cars,
Yeah.
or they would do that on like the new cars?
No, there was a rebate from the state,
Mm-hmm.
and the state made us make sure, because we had to make sure it qualified for it. So we were making so much money on that, because we were getting cars left and right. There was, I think, around that time, I would leave the dealership at 2 in the morning and come back at 8 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, the long hours. I mean, people think about sales. If you think you're really good in sales, go to car business, because you will see sharks. You haven't seen sharks? Like outside of the sales, they're sharks without teeth. And I always say, when you go to a car sales, they're like sharks with teeth. They'll bite you. Even your friends, right? How many times have you been... They used to call it a skating, right?
Yeah.
How many times you get skated by your own friend that you went out with, had a time, and you thought you were friends, and then the next morning they stole the business from you.
Yeah.
It happens.
They were like, they never asked for you. They never asked.
They're all chasing that commission. That's
Yeah.
it.
They're like, you know what? Oh, are you here? I thought you were.
Yeah, I used to get that one a lot. I didn't know you were here. I said, I got you a soda.
We had lunch earlier, right?
Just had lunch.
Yeah, it's a crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. But do you, with all that stuff, I know that when you said that, what, I get addicted, I can't get out of it, right? What is it that keeps you in this business? What is other than helping the clients? What is like something that like really drives you to be in this business?
I like, there's so many things. I personally thrive when people tell me, I don't think I can get it done. And I like the challenge of a no, because, or for example, people that say, oh, I can't get approved. I've been everywhere. No one's approving me. I said, don't worry, I got you. Give me a few days. I said, just send me everything together. Send me your paycheck stuff. Send me everything. And then I'm going to put it together and I'll figure it out. There's always a solution.
Yeah.
No matter what situation a customer's in. I mean, I've seen customers that had repos and got them approved. And I'm talking like 4 or 5 months. And and there's always a lender that's willing to do it. It's all about structure. So I'm a Virgo, remember I was telling you? I love structure. And if you give me some pieces together, I'll put them together and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think that's what keeps me going, because and then plus, no one tells me what I'm worth. That's why I can't do hourly job. I tried an hourly job several times, and then I was like, man, they're telling me I'm only worth $16. I was like, and that's the hour. I was like, I'd rather go relax for $16.
Have some coffee, right?
Yeah, so it gives you the capacity to think, like, think big.
Yeah.
Because as I'm helping myself too. So there's like no cap. And I feel like as long as I'm helping, and then I'm not like getting a cap of an hourly
Yeah.
wage. And I
Yeah.
think that's a big one for me. I'm a single mom, so it's very empowering to show my kids that they're capable of doing anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people think that way, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like a lot of people just go in, $16 an hour. They just limit themselves,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's hard. A lot of people won't survive, and I always, when I started that business with UCN, man, that was like an army. Their program, you know how many people survived? We used to have a training of 40 people. After a month of 3 weeks of training, just training. You don't go to the sales floor. You don't talk to a sales guy. You don't talk to a client.
Yeah.
You just go in from the back door. You go out the back door. You go in, and by the time the training ended, there was like literally maybe 15 people left. Half the people used to quit, more than half, even while they're training, because they used to put you in this crazy military style training. It was insane. Then you come on the floor within a week. Another 70%, 80% used to quit. After the whole class that we had, after 2 years, I was there 2.5 years. There was only one other person that survived with me.
Yeah.
And then I left because I was like, you know what? I don't want to work too many hours. We used to work until 1. We were closed at 12 p.m., in 12 a.m., so you have like 18 hours sometimes. And I was like, didn't see nobody. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with it anymore, So, and with the broker side, not only you have the opportunity to work freely,
Yeah.
because you don't have to work, midnight or forced to work it until midnight. So you leave when you want to. What's the, when you say a lot of the savings, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys, how you guys deal with the sales guys and the managers there? That makes the difference,
It makes a huge difference. Being in the industry for so long, you meet so many people. So I'm very blessed to have worked with so many good people that now they're sales managers, owners. So I do my best not to work directly with the salesperson and go straight to the source because they make the decision. And I feel like when I have worked with people, they're playing the game.
Yeah.
Going to the sales manager. So that's actually where it's more beneficial that I go straight to the source, sales GSMs, GMs, owners, partners, and internet directors, fleet managers. So those are the ones that I usually work with directly because I'm able to get to the point. And that makes it a lot easier. And who makes a decision, who gets approved?
Yeah.
Finance directors, right? So that's where I get the savings, and I'm able to be confident when I'm telling the customer, this is the best I can do for you. This is because this is a great deal. I can show you. There's been customers that have doubted me and they go and then they call me to fix their mistake they made. It's been my fair share. I would say the last year, it's happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll fix it, but don't do it again. But that's because the mom in me, right?
Yeah.
And that's the mom in me. But yeah, that's how I get the customers to save money. I do the negotiation for them. I save them time, the money, the headache, the going back and forth. And then doubting, the customers doubt when they leave the dealership. Did I get a good deal for reals? And I give them that ease of that. I show them the structure ahead of time. And if they feel safe, we move forward.
Yeah.
You give them the peace of mind.
Yes.
I want to go back to 3-4 years ago during COVID time. When when the car prices were just skyrocketing. Was it actually due to the chips not being made, or was it the sales, the dealership just spiking up the MSRP just for them to make more money on top?
Okay, COVID. Whew. That one was,
He's a conspiracy theorist.
you know
I
what?
don't know. I just want.
I'm a big conspiracy.
I got a couple of cars during that time. I just want to know if I got
No.
ripped off.
There was a time where I was telling, I personally, maybe I did a few deals, new cars,
Yeah.
maybe a few that, when I say a few, it wasn't as much as I would usually do because I didn't feel like it was ethical what they were doing. I would suggest my customers, if you're getting this car because you want it, don't do it. Just wait. But was there a supply and demand? Yes, it was across the board. So that's actually when I started the broker completely. Like, I went free, and I had got laid off in Norm. Oh, what's the kid? You see me, Norm Reeves.
We'll charge them. We'll charge them.
So I used to work for them. I worked for them for many, many years, and we actually still do business sometimes,
Yeah.
But there was a supply and demand. The chip was a real thing because even the parts became harder. Inventory, then the manufacturer was actually being selective where they were sending the cars to.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot more. I can show you some more conspiracy, but that would be all.
No, I'm not choosing this conspiracy. I just want to know if I got ripped off or not.
What I'm saying is that there is a lot of little things that a lot of people didn't see behind the scene, which to me was unethical.
Yeah.
Completely. Until this day, anything that's over MSRP on a car that's a high supply and demand, I don't think you should be paying over sticker.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't want no one to do it to my family, so I treat customers the same way. And if I'm like, if they are charging over sticker, I'm like, look, this is where it doesn't make sense. There's times that I tell customers I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because at the end, that's my credibility.
Yeah.
That's how they made money in those days,
Yeah.
because they had less cars to sell.
Yeah.
So they had to figure it out. I mean, you and every dealership you went to,
It was just crazy.
They had on a Hyundai and a Honda, they had 10 grand over sticker, 5,000 over MSRP. So a lot of people went upside down on their cars from that time, right? How many people have you seen that they bought in 2021? How many of them are actually above water?
Not that many. I leased all my customers.
Yeah.
I personally would put my customers in leases around those times. I did not suggest a purchase at all because on a purchase, they were going to be stuck with tax, title, and license, plus the markups, plus whatever they bought in finance. It was wild. Yeah. I was like, how do you guys sleep at night selling customers a car $800 a month on a Civic?
Yeah,
I was like, no. I'm like, this is not okay.
And the insurance is $800 too, by the way.
Don't get me started on that.
No. And we know somebody that sells insurance.
You know what happened with those things. With the Civics, it's crazy, man.
Not Civic. See, that's where you mess up not telling me. Whenever I got my Honda.
What? I didn't think you would buy a Honda.
I didn't think either. It just came across. Hey, I got it.
Every time I've seen you, it's either Mercedes, Audi, and stuff, or BMW.
Yeah,
so I didn't think.
You didn't tell me that Honda insurances were going to be that expensive. You said it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
But it wasn't going to be that much. At a point that I'm regretting getting that car.
Oh my God. No.
Remember, we all work on commission.
I got that car for me to save money on gas, but next thing you know, I'm paying more on insurance.
That's actually really surprising because it's true. I mean, recently I started seeing the difference in insurances. Like I'm telling my customers, go first, find your insurance, and then we're going to see what car is going to be in your budget.
Does the insurance part actually deter people from buying?
I feel like it has actually. I recently just had an experience with one customer, great customer. He's bought like 4 cars from me. And he's all like, my insurance is 400, 380. He's like, I used to pay 180, 270. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I was like, well, put less down payment and pay your insurance up front.
Yeah.
And for a year. I'm like, I'm just trying to find, so again,
A solution.
I'm more of a solution maker
Yeah.
more than anything. So, but yeah.
$300 does sound good for insurance. I'm paying five something
No.
for one car.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because of your record too, probably.
I don't have a bad
You
record.
drive slow.
You drive slow?
No, the record is clean.
Yeah.
It's just due to the car.
No, the car is. The car
very-
has a lot.
Because my other cars, I'm in the 200s range. The Honda, it's in the 500s.
Because
It's
of this,
terrible.
because it's stolen a lot.
I
People
don't know.
have. Here's the thing: the most popular car. If you get a popular car, right? You know, this is a lot of people say, "Hey, it's like only 18,000, 20,000, $25,000 car," and they always compare it with somebody that has, let's say, $100,000 car, and they're paying less payments in insurance, right? But you got to look at it this way: when you're purchasing a car, if you buy a popular car, and if it's in demand in the market, in the used market as well, guess what happens? When people need parts, where do they go shopping?
On the street.
Exactly. So what happens is,
Offer up.
yeah. So a lot of the parts come from people that had the cars they were taken. So they steal the cars, they strip it, and they have big demand on the cars to sell. So therefore, he just sells it out, and that's the reason. One of the reasons why we have that issue.
Yeah.
And it gets totaled very quickly too.
Yeah. I want to go back on purchasing cars because I know personally a lot of people. Me personally, I know about gap insurance, right? Other people, they think of gap insurance as extended warranty.
Yeah.
I want you to elaborate on gap insurance.
There is actually, so Gap is, I suggest everyone to get it because we don't know what the future holds sometimes. And if you're not putting anything down, Gap insurance is not insurance, it's to insure the loan. So the loan, what happens is if you have to make sure you have insurance for Gap to even kick in. I recently had this experience, this customer, his insurance elapsed. And literally by the hours. When I say hours, he was in an accident that day and the insurance elapsed that morning. And Gap now cannot cover it because the car was not insured. So when you're signing that paper where it says agreement to furnish insurance, that is stating that you are promising to have insurance, and then the Gap can only cover it if your insurance is active. Because let's say if you owe more than what the car is worth, so if you're upside down and you're underwater, let's say it's 10,000. I've seen them covered up to 20 recently. Gap is really good for longevity. So if you're not putting anything down, if you're financing it, you're financing taxes, license and registration, and interest fees, right? So with the Gap comes in and says, hey, I'm going to clear your loan. You're a clean slate. You walk away and you start a fresh new loan.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I thought my phone was off.
Oh, is that
If
you?
I pause,
Oh, I thought it
yeah.
was my phone for a second.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I'm
No.
sorry, I thought
No, I was like worried about my phone because
No,
I was like,
sorry.
hey,
I
what's
thought
You want
my
me to
phone-
check it?
Yeah,
No,
may I
that's-
check
no,
your
it's-
phone? Yeah, may I
Yeah.
check?
Yeah.
Because I thought it.
Do you mind passing me my phone?
No, we're good off this.
Give me this way.
That's why I thought it was mine. I'm like, wait a minute, I put it on airplane mode. Then
No, mine. It's my clients already.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
my
no, right.
clients.
where were we?
It was about the Gap insurance.
You answered it.
Yeah,
you did.
I did answer it, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what question did you have about the Gap exactly? Collateral. The manufacturers that do add it, they want to make sure their collateral is actually protected. That's why they have it.
Yeah.
And on a purchase, it's a choice.
Okay.
It's cancelable though.
Oh, it's cancelable.
Absolutely. You can
okay.
cancel Gap. You can cancel your warranties too.
I mean, from what I've
Dealerships are gonna hate me
noticed,
for that one.
I
was like,
you just destroy the whole. They're like, what?
They're about
and
to
from
stop.
what I've noticed though, Gap isn't that expensive. If you're, let's say, purchasing a car for 72 months,
Yeah.
it's only like $500 for the
It
whole
could range,
term.
yeah.
They changed the law though for the Gap. Back in I want to say 2021. No, 20. No, was it 2020 when they increased it by a percentage? It was 1% only.
I don't
1 or
know if the
4%.
price wise or
No, it's
the amount that they cover. I think it's 5 grand, right? The
it was
maximum is like
2020. When was it 20? Was it last year? No, 2023. 2023. It was in 2023 when it changed. I'm over here trying to backtrack. Before, it was whatever the dealership wanted to charge.
ah. So now they have a set fee.
By the state of California, it's a requirement that they have. I want to say it's between 1 or 4%, if I'm correct. So there's a percentage, and if they overcharge
Over the car price
over
or
the car price,
oh, I see 1% of the car.
1%, 1 or 4%. Don't quote me on that one. I have
Okay.
to double check. Right now, because I'm trying to think yeah. So, but there is a percentage. In 2023, that's when the law I was working for the bank at the time. I went into the lending to kind of understand the portfolios of subprime lending. So I did loans too. So if you guys have any questions about that, I'm very familiar with that. So subprime lending, and this is across the board with all dealerships. If they were overcharging for the gap, they had to refund the customers, including the bank,
All the dealers and stuff.
all the dealerships.
Proactively or like
had to
prorated
do-
basis or
Prorated.
going forward?
Going forward,
Going forward.
they could not, because before, like you said, when you go to finance, they start, they give you a lot of options as far as gap warranty, alarms. You start buying things for your windshield,
Sometimes
Blinker
it's more than the
fluid.
price of the car,
Yeah.
It's like okay.
Blinker fluid.
What is there one? What was the craziest thing? you've ever
Premium
heard
air
of?
for your tires,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So-
yeah. I saw that. I don't want to mention.
I don't know.
the
I don't think that is real. I don't.
No.
Do you guys think she really called in? Because I think she was making fun of her dad. I think, but I don't know if that was real because
No,
I
that
think it
is-
was a prank
No.
where they charge her for like premium
Air.
versus like regular air.
No, it's called nitro air. It's real.
Oh, is it?
No, I'm dead serious. There is.
No
I
way
will
that's
not. I
real.
will not say where, but when I was a director at a dealership, I was the internet director at this dealership, and I could not sleep when I worked there
Wow.
because it was not. This is why I'm saying. This is why I love I sleep
Yeah.
with peace now, versus being
Yeah,
when I
it's
was
horrible.
a director where we would charge. It was we were charging for things that I would be like, I can't do this anymore.
Wow.
And it was like a clean air tire. It was
That is horrible.
it was accessories, or they would charge you extra accessories. On top of it, you will see it says add-on accessories. So there was double. So you have to check.
Oh wow.
So when you're buying a car, this is what I do. I have them send me everything, and then I see the accessories plus another accessories. I'm like, I was like, that's 5,000 more. So that's where the negotiation goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them, what they do is they put everything on it,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't even take it off. So if you're buying the car, they can't take the products off. It's already there. They're like, oh, it's already there. It's not like an option anymore. So you end up paying more. Let's say if your tires or wheels and so on and so forth are there. That's why they made laws to put on there. But I didn't know about that one. Because a lot of, back in the days, when we used to work at, and they used to charge, it used to cost, let's say, usually, it costed them like maybe a buck and a half, and they charged 10 times that over. Let's say if it's $130, $150, they used to charge the client 700, 800, 900, on the gap insurance.
Wow.
So everything that they do sell, of course they mark up. Markups are what the profits are in. Sometimes you lose money on, right? You lose money on the cars, but then you have the markups and after parts, where you go into finance, that's like pure profit, because they're like marking up so crazy and there's no,
Yeah.
you know.
When I went to finance school, when I was at the dealership, there was a markup on top of a markup. And just say that. So I went to school of finance with the dealership. They require you to do that because laws that we have to follow. There is. So the dealership would sell you a warranty, but they bought it from a warranty company. There's a little markup right there.
Yeah.
Then it gets to the sales department. There's a little markup there. Then you go to the finance department, and there's another markup. So that is where I come in. It's like, I'll help the customer out to negotiate the best warranty, what suits their need, not the dealership's need.
So you eliminate everybody else.
I eliminate everybody. So I literally do
Straight to the source.
Straight to the source. That's why I always say I go straight to the source. It's like, but yeah, I'm like an advocate for them.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think as far as the sales wise? Do you think the market is recovering, or here comes Lucky?
Hi.
She's friendly, She gets that. He's like, these guys are taking too long.
She's like, oh, this conversation sounds good. Let me get in it.
There's some money to be made. See, even cats know where the money is, right? So that's the whole. As I was saying about the sales part and how you guys saving them money and the situations and stuff, going to the source. What do you see the sales have been bouncing back? Is it slowing down, or do you think what do you project? What do you see like in you guys' business?
In my industry, what I've been noticing, I feel like this was a complete reset from the mess that they made in COVID time. But I do see everything adjusting. The used cars, the new cars are becoming a little bit more aggressive. The rates are getting a little better. So we're seeing little adjustments. They're not going to be major and noticeable right away, but everything's gradually. It's kind of like the inflation that happened even in cars, the inflation of the prices. I remember when there used to be a Civic was $15,000 out the door. Now it's almost $30,000. I'm sorry for your Civic, by the way.
I don't have a Civic. I'm fine.
I was like, for the Honda.
It wasn't her fault, right?
It wasn't my fault. You didn't.
It wasn't me. Yeah.
You didn't call me. You didn't call
No,
me.
the car of the price. I got a great price on the car.
Yeah.
It's the insurance.
That's where they get you. know?
Yeah, but I feel like it's adjusting, and just the cost of living has gone up, so the cost of the cars will go up because there's a handling fee, and that is a real fee because of the import exporting.
Yeah.
Is that the tariffs?
That's the worst thing I see on it. It's like
tariffs.
delivery. I'm like, you guys didn't deliver it to me. You deliver it to the dealership. You should charge the dealership.
But there is a delivery fee. I remember when it was like $400. That should tell you how old I am now.
Do you think after Trump putting tariffs on all these countries, car prices are going to go up? Will that make any difference?
I have a lot to say about that, but
it could and could not.
it could. I think it's more of a 50-50. It depends, because it's like raw pay Peter Paul. One thing is going to go up, and the other one's going to get adjusted.
Yeah,
and then it's just like
it's gonna balance out.
Yeah, just like balancing out. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Because let's say they say, "Oh, products might go up." Yes, it could, but also they look at it this way too. The people that are shipping here, right? Before they didn't have those tariffs. But when we sent things in, we had tariffs, right? Yeah. So what happens is when they're sending it to us, they're saying, okay, you know what? Now we're going to be at the same price as the American products. Are we going to be able to compete if we're not cheaper? Let's say, I always tell people, if let's say something is made in China and it's made in USA and it's the exact same price, which one would you buy? Made in America. Most of the time when I go to the stores, I look at where it's made. If I can't avoid it where it's not in the USA, I won't buy it. I will buy the US made. Or if it's $1 difference, let's say if I go to Home Depot, if I see a product that's here made in the US and then made in, let's say, whatever country it is, and it's like $1 difference, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to support this business before I support that business. And that's the same thing with when they're bringing products in. Let's say if they were going to bring a Honda, right? And if it's not made here, And especially a lot of the manufacturers, they're already making it here anyways.
Yeah,
You know,
I've
they're just
noticed
the parts.
a lot of them are
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, BMW. I think it was after
Mm-hmm.
2000.
Yeah, because we're losing a lot of money to other countries. Why? Because they're taking advantage of
The
individuals,
importing, yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
because they're paying less money, you know, to labor compared to here.
Yeah.
It's not about the country. It's about cheap labor,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
It's never about the people. It's about cost versus, you know, where they're going to get the cheapest labor, right?
Yeah.
It's never about humanity or
hope so
otherwise
eventually.
everybody will be like paid
Most
the same
likely.
amount, right? So that's another day topic. Right? So
I had to close my mouth on that one because I'm like, because I'm Mexican. I don't like to say it. But, it is a lot. A lot of the cars are built in Mexico now,
yeah.
and because a lot of like Toyota. So as you get in the car industry, you kind of I follow automotive news all the
Yeah.
time just to see how the inventories are, what kind of car is gonna thrive. I'm seeing Kia thrive to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I see that because it's but there's
Can you guys guess which brand car model had the most gains last year?
I'm gonna say Kia.
No.
Kia and Hyundai.
Toyota.
What did you guys think?
Toyota Camry.
No. Guess again. You guys,
It won't be
The one
Nissan.
of-
I know Nissan and Honda are merging, but
you know, actually, the most gain that I had that was the
Gives-
Sentra, had 40% gains from year over in 2024.
no, I did
Yeah,
not
it's
see
crazy.
that.
Sentra.
I thought it was the Kia.
I was surprised too. That's why I got
Because
that.
I did the research with what I followed the
Yeah.
automotive. It said that it was Kia, the new Kia.
There's different ranges as far as like you know what's the biggest gains from year to year. Of course,
Oh,
you know
gains.
like
Gains
gains,
of
yeah,
profit.
sales, right? Sales, like you know how many did they sell? Of course, you know the Sentra could be a little bit better in the position because they had less sales. Let's say in 2022, I mean 23 versus 24, right? So that could have been the big, but I guess it's probably the redesign and so on and so forth that's selling a little bit more. And I was like surprised. I'm like, wow. And you know, when I used to work for Nissan, Sentras were one of the ugliest.
I owned one.
I feel sorry for you.
I bought it in the street though. That was my first car.
Yeah, no, they were like ugly. They were good cars, durable cars, but I don't know what happened with Nissan in the 2000s and late 99s. Man, they were making so many ugly cars and you know when we were used to work for them, and I was like, man, how the hell are we going to sell this car? Right? It was just like, and people used to, and you know, they were buying it because of, again, gas was cheap, price was cheap, and now it's like the same price as a Maxima it used to be. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I bought mine for $500 on the street.
Yeah,
I didn't have a license, so I had to
crash it a few times, hit and run.
But that car left me on the street all the time. I caused a few traffic jams on the 405.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely Nissan. It's especially since now that Nissan and Honda are merging. I can't
It's
believe
crazy.
it.
Yeah, I think that's stupid.
I think Nissan's
It's-
going out of business. That's why.
They got sued so much.
Nissan
Yes,
for what?
for
GTRs.
no everything. Cars constantly breaking down.
Really?
Wow.
So when I used to work for Nissan, like I was a director as the internet director,
Yeah.
and we used to see constant
Problems with them.
problems. They're good. Their Maximas are nice. The Durangos, that's Dodge. Sorry. The Rogue was a big one too.
Yeah.
That's with Toyota. But we would compare like if I had to compare like a manufacturer right now, it's kind of scary that Honda and Nissan are actually going to be doing that. Because
So who's going to
Honda-
benefit from that though? Because
Nissan. I think their Honda is getting them out of the situation. From my understanding with my Honda friends that I have still, they're trying to help Nissan, but they did.
But
have
why
a
is it gonna be scary if two reliable companies are gonna be partnering up with each other?
Because competition, right? Reputation, competition.
Honda has always, since I worked for Honda for so long, their reputation was everything.
Yeah.
It was all about reputation. Nissan didn't have the strongest reputation. So with them merging, it should help Nissan's reputation to go
Yeah.
up just because they're going to have a solid foundation. Honda was like, to me, it's always been hands down
Reliable.
the most reliable cars. I've gotten into a couple accidents in those cars, and they had the ace body structure. They were the first ones that actually built the ace body structure, which was the safety. So let's say if you went into a collision and it was head 1st, the engine will drop and it will void from the whole car colliding inside. And I personally experienced it once.
Wow.
So there's a frame in front of the car that you can actually, that protects the drivers. Most fatal car accidents happen because of. Sorry, I like cars.
No,
I
no,
do like cars. I like safety. You know,
Yeah.
I just thought that Honda and Toyota, they weren't, me personally thinking this, they weren't as strong cars as like German cars, because I've been in an accident where I was in a Toyota and the car just crumbled, and then I was in an accident in a BMW and nothing happened to the damn car. So that's how I just thought, JDMs are weaker than German made.
There's a few. If I had to say a few, like Volkswagen was good. Also safety. Those are really safe, reliable cars. Hi, baby. She likes me. How are you? She was like, I'm gonna get near you. I feel like safety is a big one for me, especially when I'm selling to families. But I do agree, BMWs do have a nice. There's always good and
They're
bad
not
in it.
reliable, though.
They're not reliable.
But, yeah.
I mean, they're good for safety, but that's because of the performance.
See, but with also the crumbling and not crumbling is a misconception, misperception of safety. Because remember all the old cars in the old days, it was all metal, right?
Yeah.
So more people used to get injuries in those cars.
Yeah.
Because every impact that you're hitting is hitting your body rather than taking it on the metal.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the Japanese and a lot of the other ones, even like BMWs now, they crumble a little bit faster and more. Like an accordion,
They don't make them the same, the
Yeah.
cars. Like over the past decades that I've been selling cars, they don't make them the same. But the interiors are nicer. I think they make them too fast. I think they're just trying to, and that's something that I always look at. I always say, slow down. But we didn't have enough cars for a couple of years. It really put us behind.
Yeah.
But with all the technology going, it's...
That's why casualties are.
Electric
More and more.
cars.
Oh, yeah.
With this new electric car boom, this and that, I just don't like that.
Why, it's personal?
Tell me about it. What's your? Because I drive an electric car, but I'm going to tell you, it was the first.
Let's discuss this.
Let's discuss this. This is interesting because...
No, I have a, what was it? Tesla Model 3 performance package. I like the way that car drives. I'm a fast driver myself. I like the way it handles. But charging your car is just, I just don't like that. That's one. Two.
Do you
For
charge your phone?
Yeah, I charge my phone, but
Same thing. You come home, plug it
okay,
in.
bro, but you going out of your way. Let's say you're going to Palm Springs. It's going to take you twice for you to get to Palm Springs. You got to charge your car twice for you to get to Palm Springs.
How many miles
One,
is
you're
Palm Springs?
one, you're gonna charge it over here in LA
Yeah.
before you take off. Second one, you're gonna charge it in Palm Springs. I guarantee you. And then if you're going with, I don't know, if you go with your gas car, let's say with my Honda, but I could go to Palm Springs and back twice. So I just don't like that charging thing.
Yeah.
And plus, it's all plastic inside of this damn electric cars. That's what I don't like.
It's
Same goes with
simplified,
Mercedes electric, like the EQSs, EQBs, and all that. It's all plastic inside.
Yeah.
That's why I just don't like it.
I mean, they use cheaper plastic.
Yeah.
But that's
Because
because of
of
the
the weight.
lightweight.
Yeah.
That's the way you get your best MPG.
Yeah, but then they have those heavy batteries in the car.
That's
Or
the
have you
difference,
seen after this Eaton fire? Like there was so many cars that were blowing up, especially Teslas. They were just exploding in people's driveways.
No.
So
Well, that can happen too. You know, how many cars do you see on fire on the road that are gas cars? Almost all of them.
yeah, but how many Teslas have you? Open it up and read it. How many
Very,
Teslas have
very little.
exploded?
Very little.
No, he's gonna look it up.
Or water damage.
guys-
Whenever there's a water
Well,
damage on a Tesla, it just starts smoking or
Same
exploding,
thing with
something like
cars.
that.
I think that's a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
every car has that same issue, bro.
I don't know. Me personally, I just don't like electric
You're just
cars.
making excuses.
I'd rather drive I'd rather drive a hybrid than an electric.
Hybrid is good too.
Hybrid's good. Hybrid's
Yeah.
good. Those are really doing well right now. I think electric is a lot of benefit for like the ecosystem, right? Um, you know, but I like
like,
both.
no.
I'm like, but I like both. I have an electric car. It takes me only 15 minutes.
You charge it at home or
I'll stop by Walmart, do my shopping and that I need to do.
Yeah, it's very
And,
nowadays.
it's
It's
very
very
convenient.
faster. You know,
I
it's
guess.
getting faster.
350. But yes,
It's preference.
Preference.
Yeah.
I think it's just
I like to hear the engine.
I just don't like to personally fill up gas anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like paying more taxes than we have to already.
Well, it's
The
state.
amount
No,
of
it's
money
the
you
state.
save, the amount of money
Yeah.
you save on
It's-
charging your
it's-
vehicle
It's
Not
versus,
really.
yeah, if you do it
So
at home.
if you go to a different state, I guarantee you're gonna want to drive a like gas car.
What
than
is
an
okay?
electric
Let
car.
me ask you this. Yes, if it's like $2, right? Let's say if the gas is $2 or 150, maybe yes. If it's that price, the reason why is because, and also what that state is charging you per kilowatt, right? So if they're charging you, let's say in the state, they're charging us about 16 cents, right? So if you go to a cheaper state, you know, that has low energy costs, it's, of course, electricity is going to be probably less. So instead of 16, it might be 8. So you're putting literally like at 100 miles, you're putting maybe less than $1.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So with me, when I use my car, give you an example. My wife drives it to work and back, right? Before, she used to pay at least like $80 a week on gas, you know, Mission Hills back, you know, it's about 50 miles per trip. And now when she's taking it to work, she's charging it there while she's at work, right? So it comes back. So that's free,
Yeah.
you know? So some people don't even put money ever or go to a gas station.
In that
ever.
case, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Even at home, if you do it at home, yes, it will cost you less. But if you do it outside, let's say if you're traveling, right?
Yeah.
Because you're traveling during the daytime, the cost of filling up is more because of the charges they get from electrical companies. Like, you know, because they don't want you to charge at those times. Yes, at that time, it might be even more or less. But in general, there's no way. It's at least 70%, 80% less than what you do if you do gas car.
For me, it's the time.
Yeah.
But
It's the time.
the benefit, I've actually benefit doing it because I'm able to work in my car. So I'm sitting there while my car is charging. I'm making deals.
Yeah, that's different.
You know, but
Therapy.
I look at it
It's,
as
it's therapy, yeah.
right? And,
Yeah.
but everybody has it. So gases, don't get me wrong. I don't even know how much is gas right now.
In the fours. Yeah, but what I was saying is that
Yeah.
a couple months back, whenever I went to Ohio, gas over here was like $5. But I went to Ohio, it was $2.29. I'm like, bro, I'm moving here.
Yeah.
And like, you don't see a single electric car on the roads over there because of how cheap gas is.
Yeah.
It makes a difference.
It's a huge difference.
Of course. You know why you don't see it is because people don't experience it, that out-of-pocket cost.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say if they go $5, then they'll be like, hey, you know what? Why am I paying $500? You know, this and that. You know, but if it's not, oh, this guy is going nuts.
Yeah.
He got used to us, so
I
he's like, you know, I'm gonna go
He got
bother these
comfortable.
guys. Yeah, he got,
And for me, I guess it's mainly the time.
yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you do. But since I'm running around on a daily, like nonstop, I don't have the time for me to, pull over at a Tesla charging station or a different charging station for me to,
Yeah.
sit there for 30, 40 minutes
You
for me
don't
to
sit
charge
there.
my car.
It takes 5 minutes. You get 100 miles. You know?
5 minutes. Every
5
time
minutes.
I charge my car, it was minimum at least
Yeah. Depends on where you go.
25 minutes.
Yeah. It depends on the stations, right? So,
Okay.
250 watt
Let me just say.
charging
yeah.
station.
It should be less than that.
No,
She,
I don't know.
it's
Yeah.
always 20 minutes or more.
Yeah.
she's cute.
She's all over
Oh,
today.
she's purring.
Yeah. Now you got her excited. Now she's not going to leave you.
It's okay. I love animals. But yeah. Oh, that's amazing though. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just preference. There's people that don't. They would say no electric. So going on to the topic of electric, it's pretty interesting because there's rebates, so customers can get out of negative equity that were in bad positions from purchasing a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So they have like some very high rebates. I tell my customers it's only 3 years. Every 3 years, your life changes something drastically. That's why I always say leasing is better than buying.
You don't know where you're going to be.
Yeah, you're not
especially
gonna
with
be-
payments. Now they're
Yeah.
saying 17% or so payments are about $1,000
Yep.
and an average of $700.
Yeah.
That after the pandemic, everything just went
Do
crazy.
you think that we're gonna get?
Go lower?
No, I don't think it's gonna get any lower.
No.
What goes up usually stays up.
Yeah, it's
You
not gonna
know?
It's
go
not.
down.
It's not the theory.
Unless
It's
there's
not.
like something that's something crazy. If something crazy happens where people, can't afford things, then probably we'll see a downward shift, But at this point, everything is still like, yeah, there's inflation, but people find a way to get by,
Yeah.
especially in the U.S., right? In other countries, there's not that opportunity to make extra income, extra money, no matter how much you hustle. That's why everybody comes here. You can go, let's say, work Uber at nighttime or at this time or whatever time you want, right? And you can make an extra 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. But in other countries, if you're getting this, you're that. That's it. So that's one of the advantages we have. That's why the prices are not going as low or dips as fast, unless it's in stock market, then it goes down and up. But I think once prices come up, all the costs coming up, usually the only way you see it coming down, if like you lower the wages, you lower the products, you lower all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's say gas prices going down, so everything has to come down simultaneously, But unfortunately,
They're not
I
gonna.
don't
when you
I don't
pay
think-
somebody more, you
I don't see it going down.
Yeah.
At all. Not even the prices of the cars. That's why I always tell customers it's better if you have someone that knows the information too.
Yeah.
Because if not, you are gonna overpay.
oh, they do on the dealership side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I hated about that business, because you were not able to help the client.
No,
The
I used to
crazy
get in
part.
trouble at the dealership for that because I was notorious. I was like, just say that you're gonna walk out. Just say,
Yeah, and sometimes,
because I would feel bad.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, if you're not doing this price, they're leaving. And my sales manager, he used to be like, Bernardino, don't do it. And I was like, it wasn't me. They just want to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, they'll come back. And and then, but it was me telling them they're gonna need the deal later. They'll
Yeah.
call me. I'll text you once they're willing to do it. There was times that I would do that to help customers.
But has it ever backfired on you? Because you help the
my
client so
God.
much, but then they turn on you.
I had a client not so long. Oh my gosh, yes, that's happened where I've asked for a favor at the bank, and the customer thinks, oh, because I told them, oh, you're not approved, but let me see what I can do for you. And I called in a favor. So there is favors that we get
Yeah.
done, right? Because we have that relationship with the dealership. And the favor was done. And then afterwards, the customer wasn't happy. And she was like, you lied to me. You told me they didn't approve. I said, they didn't. I said, I just got in a favor for you.
Yeah.
And those situations like that do happen. They do happen in that. Sometimes it hurts me because I really do work hard for it.
Yeah.
Because this is what I like to do. And so I was like, okay. I said, no worries. I was like, sorry about that. But I said, it did take a little bit longer. But we call in those favors. And yeah, it has backfired. And You just got to take it with a grain of salt, kind of like it is what it is. And
That's the crazy
That's
part.
the crazy part, because customers, every single customer thinks they're always right.
Yeah.
You always owe them a favor because they're paying you. But like, come on,
Yeah.
be human for once.
we've had our fair shares, but I think when they're able to go on their own to the dealership and experience that, the other side, that is a game changer.
Yeah.
Because there is dealerships that don't treat people with respect and don't treat them like human beings. They treat them like literally a dollar bill. And when they get a taste of that, and they're going not prepared. So to buy a car, you have to be prepared in many different areas. What you're looking for. Are you going to buy, or are you going to lease? Do you even have down payment? Do you know your credit score? Do you have a trade? Do you know what your trade is worth? Do you know if you can even get approved? Do you have proof of income? There's so many entrepreneurs now. Do you know the finance company you want to go with? What kind of car? Like specifically your insurance. Those are the things that once you go to the dealership and you don't know those, you're in for a ride. You're in for a ride. And when you least expect it, you're kind of like...
Yeah, people don't know what they have.
Yeah.
Credit-wise.
Yeah.
I had a situation where this guy came in. He didn't have good credit. I said, listen, man, you don't have good credit. We cannot get this car. He loved the car. And I'm like, do you have anybody else? He's like, well, I have my brother. I'm like, okay, let's run your brother's. So he calls in, gets his brother's stuff. Bad credit. I'm like, do you have anybody else? So he went through at least 5 people. All those 5 people got worse and worse and worse and worse. And, it's just... and a lot of them, unfortunately, with their subprime loans, now they're getting... I think where car prices, especially the used ones, I think will drop if the repossessions get higher and higher, because it is increasing.
Yeah.
So there is a big... I was looking at it. It says car repossessions in 2024. It's approximately 20%, 23% more than what it was last year.
Yeah, and it's going to continue.
Yeah, so if it continues the trend, what are people going to do? And it's all mostly it's on the subprime area. And subprime are like 19%, 20%, 22%, which is kind of ridiculous to me. When you do subprime. I know I've done it a lot of times because they have no choice, but a lot of these people who can't afford it usually are placed into this kind of loans. Rather than, you'll assume, listen, if this guy has a budget of this much, maybe we should give him a payments of 400 or 300, right? But because of interest, you can't do 300. You have to do 700. So these people already have all this stuff. That's bad. They're like, yeah, they'll agree to everything because they need a car. They have to drive. Yeah. And then they realize, man, this is going to cost them too much money after the second, third month, So Lucky is very comfortable today.
I know. She likes me. I was like, cats like me. They're so cute. Yeah, but I do agree. When I worked for the bank, actually, it was something that we looked at. It was if they couldn't make a $300 payment, what makes me think that they're going to be able to do a $500 payment? So that's how we would purchase loans. We would basically look at the collateral, and what we're seeing right now is actually there is a lot of repossessions happening right now, a lot. And I've helped a few customers. I mean, I don't know if I can get in trouble. Where my customers are like, I got my car repoed. Oh, I was like, I'm so sorry. Yeah. I was like, and I feel bad because car is a necessity. It's not a want.
Yeah.
That is something I tell people. It is a necessity. Like you kind of mentioned that we can make money in any, doing Uber, Lyft. But I tell customer, I help customers, even if they got a repo. I'm like, let's find something. Let's find a solution together. So I create a game plan and then a solution for them. But yes, the collateral is very important for them. You put a booty in my face.
She is. Come here, like. You know, her story is she actually she was outside and she had two more kittens, but coyotes. You know, we never had coyotes here. The coyote had actually jumped up our fence, got two of them, and then I came out to the patio, and you know they were like in a nice area. You know, we prepared it. And as soon as I came in, I saw the coyote right on top of her. And the coyote took off, and she was scared. So we brought her inside here because we have two more cats inside.
Oh.
So we have, and a dog. So we're full house,
Full
you know,
house.
yeah.
Oh,
so,
full of love. Full of
yeah.
love.
So
She's
that's
like,
how she survived. That's why we named her Lucky.
Lucky. Well, yeah,
she's
she is a lucky girl.
She's very friendly.
Yeah, she is very. It's okay. She's like, you should be.
She's like, maybe that's her chair too. So I think that's like, why are you sitting on my chair?
She's like, why are you on my seat? Oh, I'm gonna drop this. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that is she's beautiful. I like cats.
Yeah, car business. Like when we go back to car, you know, when we always have this electric thing because you know I do electric and he doesn't do electric. You know, so we always go back.
I'm
and
scarred
forth.
from electric.
Yeah, it's,
What? Well, was it that bad?
It was Tesla, and they dropped them. What was it? He dropped the price. There was 50% discount on all Teslas. Who
Yeah.
would be happy?
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. See, now we were talking about reduction, and I think the only reduction we had in car prices was Tesla, probably.
I was just lucky that
Nobody
I
else
had
has.
a gap on that car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you totaled it?
It was, yeah, they came and hit me.
No.
Oh, wow.
And the car was just crumbled.
Yeah, safety. They're not too bad on safety. They're very high on safety. You know, so that I mean, all the cars now it's mostly good. You know, because they're built into different standards. You know, than what it was back in those days. Some companies wouldn't even pass tests. It was crazy.
Yeah, no.
You know, so a lot of
I
manufacturers.
know the Cybertruck is pretty safe.
Well, I mean, that's a
That
tank,
thing does
man.
not flip.
Yeah.
It's
That and you know that
I'm not
car.
a fan of it.
Yeah,
It's
it's kind of ugly, and it's like
It looks like a trash can to me.
yeah. I've never seen a person that says it's okay. It's either good or bad. It's
Yeah.
like there's never a between. When you say not flipping, right? The X also is unflippable.
yeah.
It's no matter how much you and they got. You know how
I mean,
they
look
did
at
it?
Porsche.
They did it by mistake. They did it in a way, but they did not anticipate it. But
Yeah.
but it happened because of all the numbers and mathematical stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like you hit him. It's not. It just goes up and then flips out. You know. That's
Don't quote me on it, but you would know. Is it Porsche, the 911s, whenever you buy it and they have you sign a paper? If you flip it, they'll give you a brand new one. I heard something like that.
Is there something?
I think
I haven't seen that actually, but there is a lot of perks with Porsche, and I've
While you
never
guys
heard of
talk,
that
I'll
one,
look
though.
at it. This is-
Yeah,
I think there
haven't
was
heard of it.
Porsche and
Which
Volvo
was it?
doing that too.
Volvo's actually it's kind of like the Subaru, right? So the Subaru actually was built out of race car metal.
Okay.
So that is why they're the safest cars in the market.
Subaru?
Subaru.
Oh,
Look it up. They actually and Volkswagen. They're Volkswagen and Volvo. They're really good on as far as safety. Some Volkswagens are not. They have bad reputations of like going back to the shop, but
There
they're
was
really
a-
good cars though. They're like safety wise. What do you have right there?
Tacos.
Okay, it says
Tacos.
which one?
No.
Oh, I see.
He said which
What's
taco?
this?
He's hungry.
It says it says Porsche cracked down on people who flip their cars for profit. So I guess some people did really flip it.
Yeah.
Cracking down on car flipping. I guess there is something like that. That's why people will be doing. says Delta. No, it
I
doesn't
don't know
give
if
you
they still have
exact.
it. Sorry, so I think what they had was whenever you would buy a brand new 911,
Uh-huh.
Porsche will have you sign a paper stating that if you flipped the car, they had. I think it had to be windows had to be up. It had a fine print, I'm sure. So if you
Oh, but this
basically
is
flip the car,
flipping car. Maybe that's a different flipping. Maybe
No,
I
you're
think
talking about
this
flipping.
is the
That's
flipping
flipping on
cars.
the of the
Yeah,
car. Oh yeah, because they're
this is
profiting.
profiting.
Oh,
Yeah.
the profit is
So
amazing.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that's doesn't say anything else about like
GT3s, what was the MSRP? 220, 250. They were just
more or
flipping for like
less.
500.
Well, I could get some really good
Well,
deals
some
on
people are
Porsches,
doing
too.
doing 25K over and above.
25K over MSRP on a Porsche, it's okay,
Yeah.
especially on a GT3
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
GT3 RS.
Yeah.
But people were buying it and literally flipping it the next day for half a million.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like the Escalade. That's what happened with the
Yeah.
Escalade.
So you're
recently,
talking
too,
about the
for
other flipping.
2025.
I was
Yeah.
talking about actually flipping
Rolling
the car.
over, rollovers.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah.
No, we were like, I was talking about the flipping.
No. I was talking about actually rolling over. Because back then, Mercedes S600, I think it was S600, they had something like that too, where they were so confident about their cars not flipping, like a rolling over, that they were like, you know what? There it is. If you flip it, we'll give you a new car.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on it. I don't know how,
His goes
if I'm
I'm trying to see if I can
sure
do it
on
fast, but it doesn't. I have to dig in more.
No, you have to dig in a little bit more. But
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably did have it at some point.
Could be.
Because Porsche's handling is just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It has just crazy handling.
Porsche's an everyday car.
You think so?
You know, you can't drive. Let's say, for example, when you look at exotics, you cannot drive a Lamborghini every day. You cannot drive a Ferrari every day. You cannot drive a Bugatti every day. You know, in that price, like of course Bugatti is a little bit more expensive. But let's say Lamborghini, you know, $200,000-$300,000. That thing getting in and out and driving on the road is just driving a go-kart. You know, it's not comfortable. And people, you know, you look at people when they have Lamborghinis, they don't, you know, I was watching this thing online and it said, you know, most of the people don't even drive over 500 miles the whole time they had the car, 600 miles. And there was this guy that sells cars and buys cars online and he records it. This kid goes in and says, oh, I drove like $10,000 on my dad's car, you know, Lamborghini. I want to sell it. They're like, what? How did you drive 10,000 miles on this car or 15,000 miles? He goes, now the price dropped half the price, you know, because of the miles.
Yeah.
But Porsche, when somebody buys a Porsche, you see them driving it on a daily basis sometimes, you know, or more often there's more miles on it because that's a car you want to drive because it's enjoyable, you know, as far as like handling, speed, and comfort. You know.
That's the comfort is a key right there. But yeah, most of those cars like the Bugattis and all of them, they don't have miles. Like you can buy a used Porsche too, for really good prices.
Yeah.
But they are everyday cars. They just sit really low for me. The SUVs are better. But the Lamborghinis, you can drive it. You can.
Not every day.
The SUVs.
SUVs, yeah.
The SUV is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, unless if you want to pay 200,000-300,000 for that car, I don't know.
No.
That's like an Audi with a different body.
Which one? The Audi with the different body?
Urus, right?
The
It was like
Urus
called
is,
Urus.
same
Even the name
chassis.
is you don't even.
Urus.
Same as SQ8? No.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
R8,
SQ8
or
RS.
RS or something. Yeah.
Something like that.
It's just the bodies are different because everything else it says Audi on it. Most of the parts. It's you know, I mean it's not that it's bad, but
Did you know
paying
Volkswagen makes
300,000.
those though?
That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say when I used to type at Volkswagen. They finance Bentleys, Lamborghinis.
Yeah, they bought
that's-
everybody.
They bought but yeah.
Volkswagen bought Audi, you know, and
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini, you know, and they have other stuff too.
They have
on the
other
down
ones,
the
yeah.
list, yeah.
Rolls Royce.
No, Rolls-Royce is BMW still.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
Rolls-Royce is Bentley is
Bentley
I
is
believe
Volkswagen.
Rolls-Royce is still with BMW.
People are surprised when I tell them, yeah, that's who finances those cars.
Yeah.
I was like, that's your finance company, Volkswagen.
I mean, Rolls Royce Phantom has the same key, same everything as the BMW 7 Series.
Yeah, It's just
It's
because
crazy.
they share very much everything together, with Rolls Royce and stuff.
And parts and everything as
Yeah,
well.
but the thing is with Rolls Royce, at least you're getting,
Luxury and
it's
status.
actually the suspensions are different. It's made by hand versus, let's say, factory. Now, all the Rolls Royces are made. They're not just done automatically. It's handmade. So you get a little bit of more. At least you get some luxury
The
extra, right?
comfort inside of them.
Other than the body, but that one is just like,
Yeah.
it's almost the same type of body too. I don't know. I cannot justify it.
He's like, it has a nice curve.
Maybe if we had like money, where it's like
you should go to one of the car meets.
the spending money kind of spending
You
money
should
kind.
go to the car meets.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that do that. With but Porsche, it's a little bit different. Because it's still Volkswagen, but
He was like, just
but
get yourself a Honda.
yeah, exactly. Pay the insurance. It's good. We're good.
He's like, I have a friend that sells insurance.
Yeah, we'll help you out. That's the with cars. It's eye of the beholder, right? It's like
Yeah.
one car is good. It just depends on what you love. I haven't seen anybody. I think when people drive Lamborghinis, they love Lamborghini and they hate Ferrari and they hate Porsches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or let's say if somebody's doing a Porsche, they hate, oh, my car is the best, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's a lot of, there's a lot of egos.
That's the ego more than anything. But yeah, I mean, cars are cars as long as they're reliable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the luxury ones, of course, it's beautiful to sit inside of them and see them. It's like the beauty of the eye of the
Yeah.
beholder, for sure.
How do people usually reach out to you? Where can they
Oh.
find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Jackie_level cars. And or you can call me at 949-988-8624. Yeah.
We'll put your name also as well on there,
I
and
was
your
like,
phone
"No,
number.
after 9
No,
p.m., please."
because we're bringing people, and we want our viewers to
Yeah.
understand that we don't get anything, and we just like to present the things and have a fun conversation with people, so that way they can get a little bit information about the markets, whatnot. Just a little bit goes a long ways, right? Why we don't like certain cars, why we don't, why he always objects on. I always poke on him on the electrics.
Yeah.
That's one of the
Yeah.
things we disagree on. He's like I always say, like,
I
people
still have it.
Yeah, he still have it. He hasn't left it, right?
But the nice thing is that it's good because you drove the electric. I think it was just experience. It's always about the experience. It gave you a nasty taste, right? It's okay.
It's fast. It's fun.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
fun, but
You know what I
see,
compared?
it's not that bad. Then your eyes still have a little shine to it.
There's still some of love there. There's just still
There's
like
a little bit of love.
it's just
It's like
heartbroken.
Yeah, I just don't like. I just don't like charging. That's it.
I always tell people when they talk about electric car and they hate electric car, I say, listen, you guys are the same people when cars came around and you guys were on horses. Like, oh my God, who's gonna buy a car? Right?
Yeah.
I wanna feel my horse, right? So you're gonna say, I want to hear the
but
engine, right?
I want to hear the engine.
I don't think they're gonna make those
Yeah.
anymore.
What?
A lot of those
engines?
Asian cars.
Yeah.
I mean, no, AMG's coming back with their V8s again.
Is it coming back? Yeah, some
Yeah, it is.
companies are
They
changing.
say there's some they're changing.
They're gonna come back
Yeah.
because AMG they're gonna lose their touch if they don't bring back their V8. C63 was a very well-known car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they put a 6-cylinder hybrid engine in that. Who the hell's gonna drive it?
Yeah.
If you look at their stats from last year to we'll see it this year, I'm sure nobody's gonna buy it.
Mercedes actually got down. Mercedes, just before we go, Mercedes actually had their sales numbers. They were not that great. They were like in 16,
because of
17.
electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of business. I don't know if it's because of design or is it because of other competition.
Because
I
of the
think the
electric
com-
cars.
I
Is
think
it?
it's more of it's just the competitions, the
Yeah.
residuals, because remember, a lot of Mercedes customers, I would say more than 50% are leasing.
Yeah.
So if their lease specials are not as, because you can actually get an Audi for the same price as a Mercedes, or lately I've been seeing Porsche
Yeah.
lease their cars. Amazing.
Has year and year over gains. They're very
Yes,
good.
and I think that's why, because if you could be paying for a Porsche for a
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes price, it only makes sense to those that
Yeah.
do,
Yeah. In that case, yeah, but
Does that make sense though? Because it has nothing to do with your EV. It has more to do with, because everybody's going right now. It doesn't even matter whether you're super wealthy. You're gonna look for what's
Mm-hmm.
economical and what's more
bang for your buck.
bang for your buck. Yeah, and you're paying for a Porsche price for a Mercedes. It just
Yeah.
it's kind of like I recently did a Mercedes payment. It's almost the Civic is more expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was
I,
like,
I agree with
but
that.
yeah,
I've seen that.
we won't go that far, but yeah.
Yeah. When you said Civic, Civic is actually the top 10, one of the top 10 sales.
Yeah.
Civic is the 10th place actually. Then there is the Nissan Rogue. I don't know. I mean, I don't quite like that car, but it's ninth place. Camry, your Honda is not in there. Honda Accord.
I don't mind. I'm still saving
Yeah, so
gas.
you're good
Yeah.
because imagine if you're in this top 10, right? Guess what? Your insurance would have been even more. That's why the Civic starts at a high because it's in the top 10. Plus, it's in there in its own category. It's number one probably or number two. So it's even worse. That's why it's a little bit. Camry is actually, in that in my range. It's a Sierra, Ram, pickup. It's crazy. Look at gas prices are expensive, but within the top 10, Ford F-150 is the number one. Chevy Silverado is number two. You have Ram pickup, CRV, and Toyota RAV4. You'll think, when the energy is expensive, people will downgrade to lower cars, right? The only electric car that it's in the top 10 is the Model Y.
And that was
Other
because
than
of the payment of $400.
yeah, and nobody else has that. You know what I mean? It's just insane. But with that said, is there anything else you want to leave us with? You want to leave our audience with, as far as what you do and what you can help them with if they come to you versus the dealer, like something that we haven't mentioned.
Besides me delivering your cars to your house, you never have to step foot in the dealership. You can call me, text me, and I would do all the legwork for all the customers. So I make it an easy transition. As far as purchase, if you're in a, let's say, financial situation where it's challenging and you having a hard time to get approved, I have worked with several dealerships and lenders that can help you. So give me a call, even if it's just a question. I'll be happy to answer it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Greg, do we have anything else
Nothing.
that we want to add? With that, you know what? Thank you guys for joining us again. Make sure you follow her on the Instagram. You guys will find the everything on below the screen, and of course, follow us for more to come. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you.